Yo, what's good? It's your boy DJ Avalanche, the Caribbean's hottest, internationally known. Got to do a major shout out and salute to the Boxing Source. Check it out every Sunday with my boy JR. It's so amazing, so major, so informative. And make sure y'all keep locked, because I keep it locked right there to the Boxing Source. DJ Avalanche, salute. Bow.
Hey, yo, what up? We're going to talk about this news from yesterday about, a former world champion at 122 pounds, Rey Vargas. He has now said that he will move up to 126 pounds. That's right. The guy there that was at 122 pounds, he's moving up to 126. He was, the champion in recess at 122. But now he's moving up to 126. And this is from, him being injured and things like that. But he's, recovered from his injury. And now he's moving up to 126 pounds. And, with him having the status of being the champion in recess at 122, now with him moving up to 126, that means that he is positioned as the top-rated contender for the WBC featherweight title. Now, he's there, of course, at 34-0 with 22 KOs. He's been the super bantamweight. He was the super bantamweight champion since 2017. His last fight was in 2019 over in Carson, California. And he was able to score unanimous decision win over Tomoki Kameda. But now with him moving up to featherweight, he's a possible challenger for the longtime WBC featherweight champion, Mr. Gary Russell Jr. And this could be a good little matchup here. I mean, you got somebody in Rey Vargas, right? He was at 122 pounds at 5'10". So you got somebody at 5'10" at 126 going up against Mr. Gary Russell Jr. Like I said, long time featherweight champion now, right? And that's gonna be a good little scrap, and they'll build towards something like Gary Russell has been trying to get to, man. The thing is with him, he's been in the news. He had his last fight almost a year ago. He defended against his mandatory at the time, Tucson Young Buyer. And of course, he was talked about in reference to potential matchups against Devin Haney, against, even Terrence Crawford. But, nothing really materialized for last year for Gary Russell Jr. So, right now, could be in the process to prepare to defend that WBC title, against Rey Vargas. And this would be a good little scrap, former champion there, 122, going up against the longtime WBC champion at 126. I mean, you got, the featherweight situation. He's been the longtime champion, tried to get unification bouts against Josh Warrington or Lee Selby, who've held or currently hold the IBF title. But Josh Warrington didn't really go for that. Warrington was supposed to fight Can Zhu in a unification, but that's kind of out of the cards. At least for now, Josh Warrington is positioned to fight in February. He is kind of like looking to see if he could get a unification bout later on down the line. But, for the time being, Gary Russell Jr. could be fighting Rey Vargas. We could be, getting an announcement of that particular fight happening here within the next few weeks. you know. So, that's what I'm waiting on, is if they're gonna, have a matchup with some, two guys there with, great records. Rey Vargas, like I said, undefeated. Gary Russell Jr. with the one loss to Lomachenko that's on his record. Like I said, he's held the WBC title since 2015, and think that this will be one of his better matchups that he's had over the past few years. I mean, ever since he had his fight against Jojo Diaz in 2018. And we know now, Jojo Diaz is the IBF super featherweight champion. So it's kind of like we'll build up the resume of Gary Russell Jr. here up to this point. So looking at seeing what happens with this news about the 126-pound division. Like I said, Rey Vargas moving up to 126 after being the WBC champion at 122, but was injured, so he had been the champion in recess at 122. So he would have been able to return to fight for the world title at 122, but he can't, get down to 122, or at least not be comfortable at that particular weight at this point. So he's going to go up to 126. So we will see him possibly against Gary Russell Jr. That's something to look out for. But in the meantime, check out for some more news and notes here on the Boxing Source YouTube channel. And be sure to subscribe. It'll be greatly appreciated. On that note, folks, I'm out. Peace.